It's Sky News at 3. I'm Kay Burley. Our top stories for you. 2 suspected car bombers shot dead and a third on the run in Turkey. At least 10 bystanders are wounded. Our other main stories for you.
We feel very, very wrong has been done to us, our family.
The parents of a man killed by police insist he posed no risk as they call for a full inquiry. The US calls Russia a full-scope cyber actor over alleged attacks during the election campaign. Why running your car and your home is about to get pricier on the post-Brexit pound. Could where you live really raise your risk of dementia? And metal marvel, the 20-foot soldier made from old spanners. First we start with breaking news for you this afternoon, and police in Turkey have shot dead 2 suspected car bombers and are searching for a third after an attack in the coastal city of Izmir. At least 10 people injured and another 3 killed in an explosion outside a courthouse. Comes less than a week after gunmen killed 39 people at a nightclub in Istanbul on New Year's Day morning in an attack claimed by Islamic State. Joining us live from Istanbul is our reporter Zain Jafar. Hello to you, Zain. What more do we know?
Well, the Turkish government have just said that the PKK, that's a Kurdish separatist movement, are responsible for conducting this attack outside the main courthouse in the western city of Izmir. This follows a similar pattern that we've seen over the past 18 months of Kurdish militancy primarily targeting security forces, military infrastructure, the police in Turkey, across the country, not just here in Istanbul, in the capital Ankara, and now in that western city of Izmir. What we're hearing from security sources, Kay, is that a suspicious vehicle parked out the main entrance of that courtroom, which is used by judges and prosecutors, was approached by the police. It was at that point that the car exploded and then a gunfight ensued between police officers and Kurdish militants. According to the Turkish authorities, they killed 2 of those attackers, and they believe that there is one more person, a third gunman, who is on the run. This is a very heavily populated area, lots of cafes and restaurants nearby. The Turkish authorities have said, luckily, even though we're hearing of 2 people at least killed and nearly a dozen injured, that luckily it's not particularly busy at this time of year. Perhaps in a couple of weeks' time or later in the month it would have been a lot busier, but this is, as I said, yet another attack carried out by Kurdish militants, and it's added to the general instability, the general insecurity here in Turkey. You mentioned earlier, Kay, that ISIS attack on the Reyna nightclub in Istanbul that killed nearly 40 people, 39 people, dozens injured, and plenty of other attacks being carried out both by IS extremists and Kurdish militants across the country.
Okay, for now, thank you. Look at the pictures from the scene. These are, we're saying live, there's a 30-second delay for obvious reasons on these images as we're showing them to you. Our defence correspondent Alistair Bunkle looking at them with us. Police saying they've seized an automatic rifle, a rocket launcher and 8 hand grenades.
Yes, so clearly this was a planned attack, because in addition to the firearms that they have managed to seize, of course, there was the car bomb itself. So I think Zain is absolutely right. I mean, the government of Izmir has blamed the Kurdish militant group PKK, which has been in a civil war really with the Turkish government ever since the late 1970s. Whether or not he is making an educated guess or whether he's got direct intelligence to tell him that, I don't know, because there hasn't been an official complaint.
Okay, let me just update our viewers on the latest that we are hearing, that a senior official saying 2 attackers exploded a car bomb at a police checkpoint near a courthouse in the western city of Izmir before escaping and shooting at the police. You were saying, Alistair?
Sorry, yeah. So the government of Izmir has laid the blame with the PKK. We don't know whether or not he's got direct intelligence suggesting that, but I mean the hallmarks are of that. So recently, New Year's Eve, we had this attack in the nightclub in Istanbul, claimed by Islamic State. Now that was an attack on sort of Western values, if you like, multicultural society, enjoying the sort of what Islamic State would see the frivolities of a New Year's Eve party. This is different. This is an attack on the Turkish establishment, a courthouse in a large Turkish city aimed at sort of security officials and the judiciary. And so I think that, it is almost definitely going to be the PKK. And what it highlights, what you've got in the space of a week, is a really good illustration of how the Turkish government, President Erdogan's government, is fighting terrorism on a number of fronts, both against Islamic State, but also against the Kurdish Workers' Party, the PKK militant group.
Okay, we're going to keep an eye on what's going on here in Turkey, and we will update you as soon as we have more information.